What's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate Tool Reviews. Now, one question I've heard mentioned once in a while, and I still see it on the channel once in a while as well too, is should I go for a top handle or pruning style chainsaw, or should I go for a rear handle chainsaw? Now, I'm not talking about gas chainsaws in this video. Of course, when it comes to gas chainsaws, electric chainsaws, they share a lot of similarities, but of course, depending on if you're a pro or commercial user, or you're more of a homeowner, maybe light commercial, you might aim for more of the cordless options out there. So if you're a homeowner, and of course you might have some trees, maybe you're in a new HOA, new subdivision, and you have some smaller trees, you might think, hey, I can go with the smaller chainsaw and I'll be totally fine. Now, while that is for the most part very true, you want to be careful if you've got any larger limbs, maybe you've got some more forested area behind you, you're going to want to go for more of a rear handle chainsaw. And one of the biggest differences between these two chainsaws that most people overlook is the fact that a top handle chainsaw is designed to be used as basically a climber's chainsaw, or for just, pruning work. So you can use this chainsaw two-handed, of course, as you always want to keep it safe, but you can also use this above your head, above your shoulder. It's totally designed to do that. And of course, it's got the brake lock, or the chain brake here as well. But when it comes to a rear handle chainsaw, like this chainsaw here, it's not designed to be used overhead. As you can see here, if I start going up here, that chain and bar is going to be right at my face line there, and you don't want that thing to be kicking back at all while you're working with this chainsaw. So it's important to remember that between these two chainsaws, they both have their pros and cons. They both are going to be very, very useful. So if you're looking for a cordless chainsaw, there's a ton of brands to look for. You've got Makita, Milwaukee, DeWalt. Of course, Cobalt makes a number of chainsaws. We've also got Ryobi has a number of chainsaws as well, kind of those two house brands at Home Depot and Lowe's. Excellent options to choose from. Now, if you watch any reviews on a number of chainsaw comparison videos, of course, the more money that you pay at times does give you a more powerful chainsaw, but when it comes to things like features and durability, it can be kind of hit or miss there. So some things you want to look for when it comes to durability and features of chainsaws, you want to make sure that you actually have a chain oiler. So this chainsaw here has a oil reserve here. Now some chainsaws, and I don't want to necessarily name any brands that are of the cheaper chainsaws, don't include a oiler or oil reserve built into the chainsaw. So that requires you to manually oil that bar and chain, which if you're going to use that chainsaw over a decent amount of time, anything more than maybe 5-10 minutes, you're going to want to make sure you keep that chain very well oiled. But having a oil reservoir built into that chainsaw is going to allow you to keep going without having to stop and continuously oil that bar and chain. Instead, you just have to refill that reservoir when that runs dry. One thing you definitely want to look for that I'm seeing actually a surprising amount on a lot of cheap chainsaws is you want to make sure that you always have a chain brake on the chainsaw. Some of the cheaper chainsaws, they maybe have just a short bar and chain. They don't have a chain brake, so you want to be really, really careful that you always have a chain brake on a chainsaw. Do you need it? Not necessarily, but do you want it as a safety feature? Definitely you want to make sure you have that. Another thing you want to do too is just like any sharp object, you want to always keep your bar and chain, or just the chain teeth themselves, always sharp. You want to be able to make sure that you can always get through whatever you're cutting through with relative ease and speed. You don't want to be overheating that chain, causing damage to the bar, overheating the oil, causing anything to start, burning. But you want to make sure you have that bar, or that the teeth on the chain, always sharp and ready to go. Also, whenever it comes to chainsaws, pretty much when it comes to cordless chainsaws, universally, you're going to be overheating the batteries a lot on these chainsaws. You want to be careful how much you use them. Not necessarily going to damage the batteries, but having enough batteries ready to go. I'm in Florida myself, and of course we have hurricanes, so I like to use cordless chainsaws. Kind of gets the job done for whatever I need to do, but having enough batteries is going to be key. My driveway has a lot of tree cover, so in a bad storm, I could be cutting down 3 or 4 decent-sized limbs just to pull one of my cars out of my driveway. So making sure you have enough batteries charged up in case of emergency is going to be always key. Also, if you have a gas chainsaw, having enough gas ready to go, as well as if you have a 2-stroke, you're going to want to make sure that you have oil ready to go as well too, so you can mix in with that gas. When it comes to chainsaws with safety features, you want to make sure that they work at all times as well too. These two Makita chainsaws have a dual action trigger, so I have to push down here and then I can now pull the trigger. So making sure that you have some type of safety and making sure that the safety works on those chainsaws is also going to be key. When it comes to chainsaws, they are one of the most dangerous tools that you can use, so having chainsaw chaps, a hard hat, face shield, gloves, whenever using a chainsaw is definitely key. I know some people are like, you know, safety, it's just an electric chainsaw, it's not, that's more just a toy. That's not true at all. This can send you to the hospital as much as the most powerful gas chainsaw can as well too. When you're working with a power tool like this, I like to classify miter saws, table saws, grinders, kind of all the chainsaws as well. It's some of the most dangerous tools to work with because they're just known for causing injury if you're not careful with them. So guys, hope that answered your questions about some cordless chainsaws, difference between a top handle and a rear handle. Of course, they have completely different uses, different sizes, but they are both just as useful as the other one. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take care guys, have a great evening.